this is a personal interest of mine anyway. So I would say I'm probably training every day for about 2 hours, and if I'm working on repertoire, it will be longer than that. So yes, it goes on. I actually do continue always to do training with teachers and professors, because especially in the female's voice, our voices change. They become richer. They take on sort of different sounds and tones within them. So I've always taken great care, and I work with different people all over the world to keep this up. It's very important. You're always learning, and especially if you're very interested in voice and the vocal sounds that are made within that and with other people's. It's very important to understand sort of different forms of teaching, sort of that are now present and not so old-fashioned, and also going into the future. So this is a personal interest of mine anyway. So I would say I'm probably training every day for about 2 hours, and if I'm working on repertoire, it will be longer than that. So yes, it goes on. It will always go on.
A true master, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. 2 hours a day minimum. It sounds tough, but that is exactly why you are who you are.
Yeah. Well, it's also, you have to remember that the vocal muscle, I mean, we're like sports people, really. It's something you have to keep going, keep strong, and work with all the time. So, and I'm one of those people that unless I can give audiences my best, there's no point in doing it. So that's why I keep everything up so carefully. I think especially with the sort of Christmas repertoire, it was really a case of, obviously the first thing is to find pieces that you're really suited to singing, because that's important. I wanted a lot of choir, because I always think that choirs represent angels. They have that wonderful feeling about people singing together, that wonderful thing. So a lot of the songs have a lot of choir singing along. I wanted to create a concert that had a lot of tradition in it, so pieces that people were very familiar with. I wanted to bring the religious aspect into it, the Christianity into it. So there are religious pieces in there. There are also some fun pieces, some more contemporary pop pieces which bring in Christmas. And of course, because I know when I come to the Philippines, people always want to hear some of my hits. So I've chosen hits which fit well into Christmas. They're about celebration, or they're about sort of like personal thoughts, those sort of songs, and I've linked them all together. So that's really how I've made a Christmas show. And also for the visuals, the visuals are very intimate and very beautiful, because I always think with Christmas, although there's a lot of bling and there's a lot of color and razzmatazz around it, actually people, they really enjoy the intimacy of Christmas, being with their family, very personal feelings, all of those sort of things. So I've created, as well as some fun lighting, we've created some very intimate, beautiful lighting for the show, which gives people a lot of feeling. And also the looks of where the orchestra are placed on stage, the way the stage is, it's almost like, as I said earlier, a little bit like looking into a snow globe, so that you come into our world, into the Christmas world. Yes, I'm definitely singing some of my hits, because I know that people wanted to hear them, and obviously they're celebratory pieces that I chose. So we've got a wonderful choir singing Masquerade, which was in Phantom, and then we do Phantom of the Opera, which is kind of, it's interesting because you always colours red and dark, and I think it will be a fun sort of gothic Christmas piece to do at that time. So yes, there'll be there'll be some renditions of some of mine done in the more Christmas spirit. My advice, I'm afraid, is rather an old-fashioned one. It starts in an old-fashioned, old-school way, in that you have to be prepared to put 150% into it. If you want to be truly great and have a huge, long career, you have to kind of devote a lot of your life to it, and there are a lot of sacrifices. This in a nowadays sort of society, obviously with internet and everything that we have available to us, yes, you can get famous very quick, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that would last for that long, because you have to have the sort of material of yourself being at excellence to sort of then carry that wonderful moment that you have in the media. You have to be able to carry that on through pure hard work and through talent and what you've put together yourself. So I'm afraid it's a bit sort of school teacherish what I'm telling everybody here, but when I was young, the whole thing that we followed was, because you couldn't get famous quickly when I was younger, it was about being as good as you possibly could, working as hard as you possibly could at that, and attaining excellence in whatever you did in the arts, and that was what we went by. So it's that's really my advice to anybody in the world about working in the entertainment industry and the arts industry. Yeah.